Welcome to Fortress of Faith with Tom Wallace, calling North America to repentance and revival.
Welcome back to the Corner of Truth and Courage. You're here today with Tom Wallace, and I have a special guest with me in the studio. His name is Nehemiah Paul. Nehemiah Paul is the International Coordinator with FMI. They're a missionary organization that mainly ministers in Muslim countries. And Nehemiah grew up in Pakistan, and you were also the national coordinator or director in Pakistan before coming to the States in the position that you're doing now. Welcome to Fortress of Faith.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I really enjoyed doing with you in the last few days.
Well, thank you. We had the opportunity to be in a conference last week. It was a good conference. He had handouts for all his sessions. I didn't, and I felt, well. But you did a great job, and the information that you covered was just fantastic. And also last week was the closing of Ramadan. And they end that with the Eid al-Fitr, and it's a big feast time. And so, maybe it's helpful for our listeners to hear from someone else other than me, who was a missionary overseas, being around Muslims and stuff there, but, you grew up in it. What is Ramadan?
First, I want to tell about Eid al-Fitr. When we claim Eid al-Fitr, this word comes from iftar. Maybe you have heard about iftar parties or iftar dinner. The breaking of the fast or opening the fast. So this word comes from iftar, Eid al-Fitr, the Eid of breaking the fast. They believe that this is 30 days of a period when they fast for 30 days, and Satan or devil or Dajjal, whoever they believe in, was being imprisoned for being 30 days, and he will be released again after 30 days. This is a very funny concept they have. They fast every day, early in the morning, and the break about 7 or 6 p.m. every day.
Okay, so for 30 days, in a sense, they have put the Satan in prison, and then they celebrate the end of it by releasing him. Huh? Okay, so it's 30 days of fasting. This is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, the fast. It's kind of a funny thing. You would think people lose weight during a fast. I have, but the most I've ever fasted is 10 days, I think it was there. But 30 days, can you imagine doing that? But that's not 30 days without eating food, okay? It's during daylight hours. They cease from eating. At night, they really feast each night, and it's they often gain weight during that time. And I think you were telling me something about sometimes they have to go to the hospital because of their eating habits.
Yeah, they have to go and see the doctors because they have to go to see the doctor's office because of their eating patterns being changed, and they eat.
They gorge in the evening.
Yeah, very, very different ways. So.
Yeah. Well, I've always joked around saying, that 30 days they fast during the day, and at night when the sun goes down, they eat like Baptist. But anyhow, we came to the end of the Eid, and I wanted to have you on the program for our listeners to hear your story and get acquainted a bit with some of the ministry that the Lord has given you and your insights about Islam and Muslims. To do this, I want to try to get to your dad here in a moment, okay, to talk about how your dad came to faith, because you're a second-generation Christian. Your dad came to faith at great cost. Explain for us there, coming from a Muslim family. So, Brother Nehemiah, you come from Pakistan. Explain, well, I want to get to the story about your dad, how he came to faith. But before we get into that there, explain a little bit about Pakistan. You speak English, you speak it well. You've got an accent with you, no doubt, but you probably speak more than just English. Give us a background a little bit about your country and language and how Islam, touches all that, if you would.
Sure. First, I want to tell that I was born in one of the very famous or infamous cities of Pakistan. This city become very infamous or famous in the last few years. I was born in Abbottabad, the same place where American SEALs, they killed Osama bin Laden. They raided that compound, and that compound was about a couple of miles away where I was born in Abbottabad. I was born there. I spent my few years of life in Abbottabad before we moved to central Punjab, which is close to India. India is about 20 miles away from my hometown where I live. And it's a beautiful country, of course, and have all the resources. But living in different Muslim nations, I observed that Pakistan is very, very different country when we talk about practicing Muslims or practicing Islam in Pakistan. Pakistan has the most violent Islam in the world. This country, they practice they have a mob culture where a mob can go and kill and burn alive people in the name of Islam or Allah to get to heaven, to get the key to heaven.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you right off there, but I just want to interject a thought there, because I've heard many times that they, if a person is, they want to do someone in, they've got, some kind of an offense or whatever that they've done, they'll make a claim, this person blasphemed Allah or something like that, and they didn't. But how do you prove it when you got a mob coming at you?
Sure.
All you got to do is just raise up the people. Henry over here just blasphemed Muhammad. Let's go kill him. Yeah. That happens often out there.
But, brother, I think you don't know my story. This has happened to me as well. I was riding a bus. I was coming from Afghan border. Ministering there, we have a ministry partners on the border of Afghanistan. I was on the bus, there was a guy next to me, and we are being trained to talk to everybody who is sitting next to you. I mean, we cannot keep quiet while sharing the word of God or testifying Jesus. So there was a guy next to me, and we were talking about Christianity and Islam. And I mean, this is one of the ways I preach gospel, that I throw questions at them. And I know they don't have the answers. So I ask, what is the concept of salvation in Islam? How are you assured, you have the surety that you go to heaven? And he had no answer. And he said he's going to come back to me after talking to his imam. And he never came back to me. But I was being accused for blasphemy. And the local mosque and a madrasa, they issued 3 fatwas against me. And I was on run. I mean, I was not really running the way my father did, but I was in hidings. I left Pakistan for some time and came back. And I faced all the trial courts, and the people, they wanted to kill me. And they were able to attack a couple of times. And I was in a hospital for a few times. And once I was being kidnapped by the cops, and they wanted to record a statement of their choice. So it happened a couple of times with me, but that was assurance, that was endorsement from God that I really worship a true God, because Bible says that if people persecute you or they punish you, just feel that you are worshiping a true God.
You were saying too in the conference there how they will trick girls into saying the Shahada, little children and stuff there. Explain that, if you would. What is the Shahada?
This is the faith of statement Muslims have. The statement of faith is La ilaha illallah Muhammad ya Rasulallah in Arabic. The English translation would be that there is only one God, not other than Allah, and we believe that Muhammad is the last prophet. This is their faith statement. And in Pakistan, or maybe countries like Pakistan, it's very common when they pick up girls, and they make them to say that you have to say this state of faith, or faith, that we believe in Allah. And the moment they say that, these girls, they become Muslims. And there is no way they can go back, they can turn back. And these girls are like 11 years old, 12 years old, 13 years old. And we have seen many girls in Pakistan. We fight for them. We try to bring them back, and we go to courts to fight them. But I'm sorry that this is a very painful, that we never ever successful bringing back any girl.
So in other words, they they said something, they didn't realize what they were saying, in a sense, and they're being tricked into saying the creed of Islam. There's no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his prophet. And by saying that, that's how one becomes a Muslim in the eyes of Islam. That's how you convert. And the way I was always taught in what we would call the proper fashion is that they must say it by faith, believing in the presence of two Muslims in Arabic, and that makes them now a Muslim. Okay, but they get them to say it and they don't really realize why or how, they're being almost forced and stuff. And now they're treated, now you're Muslim, you can never leave. And that's one of the rules of Islam. Apostasy, what's the rule of apostasy? Death.
Yeah.
So Pakistan got started as it split from India during the years that they were making a revolution against England. Gandhi was a big part of that history. But India split into two. If I understand my history, I might be kind of getting it, maybe all the details not quite correct and accurate, but that's kind of where Pakistan got its start because of its split, because of their hold to Islam. You got a lot of Hindus over in India, and you have a tremendous number of Muslims over there too. Yeah. But Pakistan is very weighty, very heavy in Islam. Then you had another split, Bangladesh on the other side, right?
Yeah.
And so of course they carry Islam with them as well. So you're in this region of the world where how many different languages are spoken over there?
We have 5 provinces, and each province has their own provisional language. But we have more than 300 languages across Pakistan people speak, and I speak few of them.
Yeah.
And Urdu, which is a national language, this is not my mother tongue. Punjabi is my mother tongue. And I speak a couple of other languages in Pakistan.
Well, I struggle with my own. Well, I guess I could say I speak English and British. Okay, I can, sure. And I do have to sometimes translate in my mind, what country I'm in, what words I use, just within the English language there.
Yeah. But Tom, I just want to add a very important point here. When Pakistan got separated from India in 1947, we had East Pakistan, West Pakistan, and Bangladesh got separated in 1971.
Okay.
Pakistan is the only Muslim country, a Muslim nation in the world who has atomic energy.
Yes, right.
Iran is struggling. They are doing it. And how Iran got atomic energy, that was the help with Pakistani scientists. Who did that in Pakistan. So he was helping for Iran.
Yeah.
And Pakistan is the second Muslim country in the world who was being born in the name of Islam. First Saudi Arabia and then Pakistan.
Wow. Well, we ran out of time, but tomorrow when we come back, I want to start talking about your father and his testimony, how he came to faith. So join us. This will be an exciting story. You don't want to miss it. So join us tomorrow at the corner of truth and courage. God bless you.
This is Tyler Hudson with you from Fortress of Faith. We want to thank you for listening to the broadcast today. And just to give you a quick update, we are still in the month of our fundraising for April. We have breached the halfway point. And we'd ask that you'd pray if God would have you to help with some operating expenses that we have here. We do this every April, and there are 3 ways you can give. First, the easiest way is to go to fortressoffaith.com. You can click on Donate there and do that safely and securely with Canadian or U.S. funds. A second way is to call 1-800-616-0082. That's again 1-800-616-0082, and you can donate that way. Or if you'd prefer to send a check, you can send that to P.O. Box 30485. That's Bellingham, Washington 98226. Again, that's P.O. Box 30485, Bellingham, Washington 98226. Thank you so much for listening and for being a part of our ministry here at Fortress of Faith. God bless.